Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, we're still talking corruption. How do we? I mean, we've looked at the law now in terms of what the law can do, its role. Of course, I think we'll still focus on a little bit of the law as well. With this, Benjamin Shimala joins us now. He's a consultant systems engineer. Thank you for coming on today. Well, I mean, if you remember the police matter, it was someone who did that recording and then, of course, sent it and it was broadcast. And the chap has been dismissed, and they also say that the Police Act, which is enshrined or subsumed in the Constitution, also gives the police right to dismiss him pending when the court eventually gives their own verdict. And then you also have this video, which made the round at the time about Farouk Lawan. That matter is in court at the moment. We don't know how far it's gone. And then it all keeps going back and forth. But now we hear that in some places, if you go to an office, they tell you to drop the bag and the phones. Don't come in with them, so you don't cause us any embarrassment in some of these ministries. But technology still comes in here. As Mr. Kyrie was talking about, we may have our strengths, so you never know. But all of those, technology plays a great role. What do you see going on in technology at the moment?
Lovely scenario we have now in Nigeria, but I wouldn't want us to look at technology as a magical tool. Rather, it is a functional tool that will be used whichever way you choose to use it. I was just wondering this morning, remembering those days where when you have glitches in your account, you burn down the building. You can remember many times we had mates building, Cocoa, some of them in flames, and then we later heard that it was a result of fraud here and there. These days, because technology now have taken over our accounting system, you may not necessarily have to burn down a building. And I remember right in this channel, we mentioned sometimes, I think 2 years ago, was it 2 or 3 now, when we were preparing for the election, and we're talking about the role of technology in the upcoming then election. It's a good scenario, but from practical experiences that I have personally had in Nigeria, you just mentioned the quick one. I was in one of the government agencies, I think around April or May, and I was shocked when I was asked to pull out all my phones, and there was like a body search. Should you even have a pen with you that has a camera, or should you have anything of some sort? I was like, look, it's just an agency. What are you afraid of? If you need to scan me for bombs or explosive devices, you don't need to go to the extent of asking me to bring out my phones and my iPad and every other thing. I want to say that fighting corruption using technology is not just about the citizenry going on about taking shots of events and or reporting about the BlackBerry or going on the social media. But
it's about the video.
The video that could work sometimes. We mentioned I've seen you done a number of series on the lady that was harassed by a naval officer years back, about 5 or so years, and there was a video shot by just a passerby, and that sent it to the media, and that was what really helped. I don't know the longer shot of the case now, but I'm saying that it's not about yourself or myself just going up to take a video shot. Where will you send this? Question 1. If it is sent to the appropriate channel, I don't want to know.
Like Eyewitness or channel.
Eyewitness or channel. Yes, you guys are doing, beautiful job on
that's
that.
Social media.
But sometimes I ask myself the question: who is actually monitoring the work of it? I'm working in this country. The agencies, the policemen, the EFCC agents. Because corruption, like International Transparency Agency define it, is when you use that entrusted power for private gain. And I tell you that the people that even have the privilege of carrying out or enforcing or apprehending the culprits, how are we monitoring them? Because if I go on the highway now, lovely, I know the other video you're referring to came from the airport, and I'm just a visitor in the country. But the guy that recorded is actually Nigerian from the international head, and I'm able to send that down to you. Thanks for channel. You're able to verify and then broadcast. But I'm looking at a situation like some other African countries are currently doing it. Zimbabwe is working well on that. I'm aware of Malawi now.
Zimbabwe,
you will be shocked where Mugabe is. You'll be very shocked that they currently have a database where when you take a shot of any corrupt event, you send it in. There is an agency that works with the information you send, they will verify and they will notify and keep on pressing, because this thing should be a coordinated thing.
An agency of government?
The agency, from what I read, they also have, it is like an affiliate of the Transparency International.
Oh, I see.
Now, it can't be the agency of the no. But they are able to now get legal backing on such documents and send it to their profit corner. But in Nigeria, I'm aware of an agency trying to do something of some sort, anti-corruption, internet database, that's still trying to do something. But we don't currently have a platform, which is where I'm also appealing to my colleagues, to developers, to people that are technologically savvy in this field, to come up as a group. Because the problem we have in Nigeria is not the knowledge. We are very vast. And I can tell you that a number of these technologies also were behind them. But coming together as a group to fight it head on. I was reviewing recently and I looked at the level of fraud we had before technology was brought into the public place. If you compare them, you discover that you have more in volume compared to the days where it was Excel sheet that was used for payroll. But who are the people behind the engineers? So it's not just about using a tool, it's about that tool and the user of the tool if you are not corrupt. You mentioned Farouk Lawan and what's it called now? Governors Forum video. You have a number of amateur videos going on and there. And I'm not aware that these are tenable now in court. I'm not aware that, of course, I know that there was this constitutional review that was done recently. There is still one of the bills awaiting the president's, the House to pass, where you can actually tender some of these electronic evidences.
Yeah, we'll double check, but I think there was one particular incident, I think some time ago, where the FCC had this documented evidence of financial records, which was technology based. Okay. So there was this argument whether or not it was tenable. But
we know that there is some work being done there, because also in the trial of Al-Mustafa in court, there was a video evidence presented in court and it was accepted. So we know that even in the judiciary, some work is being done in that respect.
It is a step in the right direction. I would love a situation whereby it wouldn't just be isolated cases we are looking at. I would love a situation where public officers, because if I walk into a place, for example, I want to get a passport, and the immigration officer is asking me for a ride, I could just have the video recording of that particular scene and send somewhere. I was very happy to see the dismissal of the other officer. I haven't spent 20-something years in the force, but I'm looking for a more coordinated, is it not punishment now? A more coordinated means of using the proceeds of this technology. Let me give you different instances.
Proceeds?
Yes, that's the product. Like if I take my mobile phone, I take a shot, that's the product of the mobile technology. Now look at scenarios where you have mobile traffic offenders. It's rude, and I think it's even costing the economy more to have officers on the highway flagging you down and asking for particulars that cannot be verified. I listened to my friend yesterday program when she said, "How am I sure that the documents I have for my car is correct?" I'm looking at a situation where right on the highway you have a technology that will accept. I'm a preacher of national database, where I could just access you, get certain information regarding or about you on the spot. It could be a last mile agent, it could be the road safety officer, it could be any of these agencies. But the question I'm still asking is, if you don't have information about XY, because ICT technology generally we build it on information. That is why it is information communication technology. But we don't have that to work with. If, for example, they tag, because I did one about 3 years ago on the island. If the police tag of that guy was not captured in that video, we could say that the face was another person. But the person that took the shot was able to pick the tag, that the police registration number, was able to pick all of that, and I believe the police now ran that through their database and were able to come up with that. But I'm looking at some other agencies that I could, like, something happened to me. I was just in traffic, and there was the red and the green, and when we had the green, my driver was moving towards, that was Ikoyi, and all of a sudden I just saw a traffic police just came in with Okada and stopped the car. I was right there. Fortunately that I wasn't reading the newspaper, so I was still just seeing what was going on. So I just told him, stop. So when he stopped, I said, don't come down. I came down. And I said, good morning, officer. Any problem? He said, well, I don't see the... And the moment he was talking, I knew that this guy was not educated. Because it was... And they've been doing that on that road. They were just talking, especially when they discover that you are a corporate person, you have a meeting, they want to just use that opportunity to extort money out of you. All I did was just to take my mobile phone while I was talking to you, and I placed a call to a friend, not even to a government or a prosecuting officer. I just placed the call and I said, I have one of the Nigerian police officers that we're trying to get rid of here, and I quickly put his number. Immediately his boss came and said, oh, that, sorry sir, sorry for disturbing you, and we are sorry sir, and he asked me to do.
So his boss was somewhere?
This boss was somewhere, hanging by the what's it called, the pole to the street light. That is Nigeria. I'm giving you real life scenario.
You talked about use of technology, and we do know that recently we've been asked to change our plate numbers. One of the reasons why we asked to change plate numbers was because they said you can trace it easily. That you can be stopped, and they're holding mobile devices, and I don't know if anybody has experienced it. I'm yet to experience, being stopped and, my plate number being imputed. Exactly, I'm being checked. In fact, I'm yet to see any traffic control official of either the federal government or even the state government holding any gadget that looks like they're going to be checking anything through it. What I've seen is a walkie-talkie at best.
Is it functional?
A friend of mine recently, people look at a deeper scenario. Wanted to sell his car, and the question came up that was he going to sell the car with the new plate number, because the plate number is actually registered with with your data, your date of birth and all of that, and the dealer quickly mentioned himself that one will be problem now, we go sell and we will just go do a study. And I asked him a question. I said, have you asked from the office of the monitoring unit FRSM to confirm if actually you can transfer
the plate number?
And I was shocked when one of the officers mentioned to me that if you look at your vehicle license, you have the plate number also attached to the vehicle license. And really the vehicle license is for the vehicle. Just follow this scenario. It's for the vehicle. But you also have the plate number registered to you, because you own that. It's supposed to be transferable to any other car you're going to buy.
Yes.
Now, he now said that there is still, I'm sorry and I stand to be corrected, that there is still a gross error in that system. Because if the plate number, the vehicle license itself is still bearing that plate number, by the time you are going to sell off your car, you're not going to sell it off without the papers that give them the period of giving you that license. So the implication is that you're able to transfer your plate number.
And I think FRSC has got to complain, speak up perhaps on this particular matter you raised, because the complaints, lots of them too, that we have heard about people who sell their cars and the plate number goes with it, and then they also somehow able to do the change from the office over there. And that's contrary to what the FRSC says happens. So perhaps we'll focus on that at a later
date. Let me just digress now and just enlighten the masses on some of these things, because sometimes you may be carrying something more effective than the gun. I'm one of the people that believe that if you are holding a mobile device and you have the backbone of the internet, you are very well equipped. If you look at frauds, even outside Nigeria these days that have been brought to the public, it's due to people using some of these technologies. A lot of us just think that the social networks are just there for you to just chat and while up your time. But of course, I know there are people that will come up with cases that are not real. They will just pick up something and put it up on the social media page. But I think I'm not clamoring for channel, but I think this is a time for us to realize that aspect we call the eye reporter of channels. I don't know what to call it now. Eyewitness. Where if I have a particular incident of fraud by a police officer, I can take that shot and just send it. While sending it, you can go further, because I know I mentioned to you that Google came around about 2 years ago, and they had training for some of these young Nigerians on how to use the Google app, the Google Map, the Google OpenStreet, for you to take geolocation, because you can actually attach a tag to the video or the picture you are sending to verify that you are not taking that shot from a newspaper or copying it from the internet.
So it's not superimposed.
It's not superimposed. You cannot. When you take that shot, you can. It's encrypted on that document that you have the coordinates of where the event actually took place. The time is also attached and could be sent down to channel. I know that if you look
and that's enough verification.
It's enough.
Which is accurate.
It's enough verification, because you can't actually alter that. It's just a matter of it's not embedded in all of our
But
devices.
really, are we ready? I remember then, you were really an old student then when we were going close to the election. You talked about it, and in some instances, people called in to say they were not. People called in to say, well, they couldn't use their cell phones in the polling booths, and now we're getting to see that people can actually take their phones into some offices. So what can people do in all of this? Can we also place a CCTV and see what the officer does?
I have my style, and a number of us know that there's no how you can keep information from getting out of a particular organization. There are several tools available even in the open market. I've cited some even in our open market in Nigeria here that you can use beyond the smartphone, beyond the iPad, beyond the Android, that you can use to take some of these shots. You have the spy pen, you have the spy button, you have pendants for ladies. Do you know there are wedding rings that are embedded with cameras? And there are a number of things you can do. But what I tell people is, I'm still like, not just about you getting this thing, but which channel are you going to send it to? Because I cannot just keep it on my phone as a souvenir. I need to have a means of sending it somewhere.
Don't worry, they should just watch this space, because my phone will tell them talk to them maybe because of time.
Okay.
How all of this will work.
No comments. No comments on that.
Okay, then. Benjamin Kamara is a consultant systems engineer. Or back at me. Yes.